to look to nature to see that if there's devastation in nature, then nature heals itself in a particular order. There's a particular way. If there's a fire or if there's a natural catastrophe, nature heals itself in a particular way. And so that is nature's healing matrix. I'm just going to step you through the 5 healing families that we're concerned with at the moment. The first one is our family of flowers, numbers 1 to 36. We are complex, multidimensional and multifaceted beings. So we all have a personality. That is the part of us that interfaces with the world. And for those of you who are familiar with Dr. Bart's work, you'll know that the focus was on the personality aspect of the being. That if the personality aspect of the being was just acting in a disharmonious fashion, then dis-ease would result. And so the personality aspect of a person is very, very important to address. The personality aspect of us is that part that has particular mindsets or particular conditioned responses, attitudes, personality types. And those personalities, we all have a personality type. It's not possible for us not to. The moment we are born and we physically incarnate, the moment spirit draws breath and soul is present, we have a personality. The moment we take on a body, with that comes the emotions, the lower emotions, and the mind. So the personality is the body, the emotions, and the mind. So it's the emotional and mental mindsets or attitudes that can be our greatest ally. But for most people, they're not. For most people, their personality is not functioning harmoniously. It's a little bit like those cars that you see, kangaroo hopping up the road, belching lots of black smoke, stopping and starting. So for most people, their personality is not their best friend. And so it's that aspect of healing or well-being that the flowers address. Flower essences address. The next aspect of our holistic makeup, because holistic healing or our holistic makeup, holistic means, among other things, whole, a whole person. So we're looking at holistic healing. So the next aspect we're looking at is the human energy field or the aura. And that comes under the domain of our Ferns essences. So our aura or energy field is that aspect of us that is the metaphysical, beyond the physical. So just as we have a physical body, we have a metaphysical body. And the importance of our aura or our energy field cannot be underestimated. You know, our physical skin has 7 layers. Did you know that? Our physical skin has 7 layers. Our metaphysical skin has 7 layers as well. And so when we have a healthy energy field, those skins are intact. Those skins are nice and strong. The aura, because it is electromagnetic, holds the memory of everything we have experienced. So it holds the memory of particularly things like trauma, because a healthy aura, things just flow through it. Things just flow through. But something like trauma, for instance, as we'll discover, things get stuck in the energy field. You know. So, just being clear that the impact of trauma, wherever it is, will impact physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And the person can't necessarily remember what the trauma was, because trauma will go down into the level of the subconscious and the unconscious. So we can't consciously remember it anymore. But some part of us is still holding it and living it, and it's still present in our life. So the very, very big area of healing the Ferns, absolutely huge, which is why people love coming back to the Ferns workshop. Okay, let's look at nature's healing matrix, continue on through, and we look at the tree essences the 7 tree essences, which continue to address the human energy field. In this particular instance, the chakras, the 7 chakras, the 7 major chakras. So the chakras are doorways, they're gateways, or chi, or life force, or energy to come in. The chakras can get blocked, the chakras can get imbalanced. The chakras are related to the major body organs. So, for instance, let's look as an example. We had an emotional trauma here. So emotionally she started to close off, because that's what happens with emotional trauma. It's related to the sacral chakra, so we start to close off. And then we start to get afraid. Our soul, which is related to the heart chakra, starts to get afraid and starts to close. We don't, life's too painful. And so we have in this area the heart and the lungs. So chakras, anything that happens in the energy field will impact onto the chakras, and the chakras are related to body organs. So we start to get like a domino effect. The next part of Nature's Healing Matrix is our seed essences, which correspond to the DNA, to hereditary patterns, to ancestral patterns, to what we have inherited down our family line. Not only down our bloodline, but our soul's journey. We have 2 streams of energy coming into us when we incarnate, when we draw breath. The word for spirit, wairua, means 2 waters. So we have 2 streams of energy coming into us when we take our first breath and we are essentially born into this life. One of those streams, rivers of information from our ancestral line that we're born into, and the other from our past lives. So that's our inheritance, and also the state of our DNA is what we will be passing on down to our family line too. And it's not just physical characteristics, of course, we're looking at the metaphysical traits or characteristics. So, for instance, alcoholism can run in the family, depression can run in the family, breast cancer can run in the family, etc., 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 etc. So, the seed essences are our tools to address this level of healing, which is very, very deep, deep, deep level of healing. Seeds have the ability, they're very small, they have the ability to break apart limiting patterns that may be very hard and have been in there for a very long time and down very, very, very deep. Our next healing family is our plant essences, 22, and they address the aspect of us known as the human soul. Soul, that part of us that's here to learn, grow and evolve in each lifetime. And regardless of our race, creed, colour, gender, there are only 22 archetypal life lessons that we can experience, or 22 soul lessons. So the 22 plant essences strengthen our relationship with our soul. And once again, when we look to the old ancient wisdom teachings, they saw the absence of soul as a vital part of ill health, the absence of soul. Now, we live in a world where there is not much recognition of soul, not really. When we're looking at the whole holistic healing, we cannot look at holistic healing without understanding soul and the soul lessons and presence of soul in the life, and strengthening that relationship with soul. At a very, very, very practical level, for instance, every soul will have 22 archetypal experiences. For instance, number 75, folk, the soul lesson of death and endings. Death and endings. That regardless of who we are, we have to learn how to deal with death and endings. Whether those death or endings are physical, or whether they are the end of a phase of life, the children have grown up and moved home, or divorce, or whatever it may be. If we can't deal with that, we will be stuck. Right, so that's just a very quick walk through our 5 healing families. We obviously, the first light range, we have our healers and shamanic essences, and our orchids, fern allies, and sacred mountain grasses. They fall into a different category of healing. They fall into more specialised types of issues.